Welcome back to Life After Baseball. Now, if you're a returning viewer, you usually know what comes next. The highlights, compilation, Chris and I doing what we loved. Not today. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's important that I use my platform to say something that is not spoken about enough. There is a stigma out there going around, a very dangerous one, that men don't feel, that men don't have emotions, men don't break. They're supposed to just figure it out. And whatever battle that they're carrying it, they're supposed to carry it alone and in silence. Men do feel. Men do break. Men fight demons every single day that the people closest to them never even see coming. And when we stop checking on them, and I mean really checking on them, we leave them out there alone to fight that battle. In this past month, I lost a near and dear friend of mine. His name was Angel Acevedo. He was battling demons that no one else knew about, and unfortunately, he lost that fight. He is not alone in that. Majority of suicides in this world are carried out by men, silent, unseen, unspoken. So today, this episode is dedicated to Angel, to his wife, his 2 kids, his parents, and everyone who loved him. They wake up every single day living a nightmare that none of us can fully understand. We honor them today. I also want to take a moment for our guest, because in this episode he opens up about how he was on suicide watch for 3 years after his dreams of playing professionally did not come true. 3 years, and thank God he made it through that. If this topic is sensitive to you, please take a deep breath, prepare yourself, because what you're about to hear is real, it's raw, and it matters. Now, join me in a moment of silence as we honor Angel Acevedo. Yes, sir, Eli, my boy. Thank you for your time.
What up, y'all?
How's everything? How are you doing? How you feeling?
So everything good, baby. Same old stuff. Just getting ready for the break coming up. We got a mid-winter break coming up, so got a plan for that and stuff like that. We're supposed to go to Florida, but we're trying to manufacture Florida over here. So.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So talk to us. Where does the story with you and baseball begin? Did you have a baseball household? Did you have a baseball family? Were you just thrown into it? Tell us the story of how you got into your first love.
All right. Well, my father played 8 years in the big leagues.
We start there.
You see what I'm talking about when we say heavy hitter? So let the people know who's
my father is Frank Rodriguez, born and raised in New York, and he played 8 years in the big leagues. And by the time he made his major league debut, which was '95, I was born. I was born like towards the end of that year in October. And I could literally say I was born into it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was plenty of days in the clubhouse, plenty of days, on the field. And
you spent time in the clubhouse?
Hell yeah. I got pictures in Griffey's arms.
That's
and I got pictures with a bunch of people. Pat
Come to
Mahomes
me from the
Jr.
Mariners.
Yeah, hell yeah. I got baby pictures with Pat Mahomes. Yeah, so it's like,
that's crazy.
I grew up in a clubhouse. Very similar to... we all know Prince Fielder, like how he spoke about that. Like, I grew up in the clubhouse, up until like about 5 or 6. But, when you look at pictures, you get to remember all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my love grew from there. And then when we came back from Seattle to New York, it blossomed from there. I got in the league, and then I was a little bit better than everybody.
Shit, I would imagine so.
Yeah, and then I just, talking to my dad, wanted to practice and get better, and it just kept growing from there.
That's tough. So you would say he was your biggest influence, obviously, in the game.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Was he your favorite player?
Yeah, it was, because you know what it was? Like, I didn't fall in love with my dad playing in the big leagues. I got a completely different version of my dad. Like,
speak to that.
Like, all right, let's be honest. Like, you don't really remember shit.
For sure.
So
I'm glad he said that.
Yeah, like, you can look at pictures and maybe remember certain memories, but you don't really remember the stuff. And his career was ultimately over before I was, like, really conscious of the game.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, you play baseball, you catch a ground ball, you hit it, but like, you don't really know what's going on until you're about 8, 9, or 10. So his career was already over.
That's a fact.
So when he was done, when he retired, he was still young. He was probably like 30, maybe 31, around there. He had back problems, so he had retired. And when he came back to New York, he was playing softball.
Okay.
and like he was like on top of the softball world at that time. Like we playing in 4 different boroughs. He got games at 8, 12, 3, and 8 again.
Yeah.
And we just going everywhere, and I'm seeing him dominate. Like I'm seeing him dominate in a way where I'm like, nah, this is video game
different.
like.
Yeah.
This is video game like. And then when I was 13, it like finally clicked. Cause like when you see your parents do something, whether your dad is a top engineer, whether your dad is a fashion designer, it doesn't really hit you that what you seeing is like some greatness.
Yeah, because that's your dad or your mom, whoever
Exactly.
it is.
See them every day. It's familiar.
I'm practicing with him all the time. He's doing certain things like glove tricks and stuff, but it's not really clicking.
Yeah.
And then we went to Central Park. And I don't know if you guys played in Central Park where it was Norman Thomas's home field where the handball court is in dead center field.
I never got the opportunity.
There's another park. There's like a park and then there's like a park way off to the left. It's in foul territory.
Right.
He hit it from this field onto the fence of that field. And then I was like,
He's different.
that's like 420 and some change with a softball. That's 12 ounces. Like, what in the world? So I fell in love with that player. And
That's
it
tough.
was hard for me to like a major leaguer after that. Like,
I like this in person. You see this in person, yeah.
Like, I like
that.
Yeah, I liked Jose Reyes. He was cool, but I'm like, you're not doing this. You're not doing this over here. Like, I'm seeing this with my own eyes. Like, craziest thing I ever seen him play on a chopper. It was a lefty that he did like, the slap.
Yeah.
He hits a chopper right over the pitcher. My dad is coming from short. He handball smacks it all the way to first. Out of here. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, that was like, all right, he's my favorite player for life. Like, that's for life. For life. I wore
different.
33 for a little bit.
Yeah.
I found that his high school number was 1, so I wore 1. Like,
That's where
dope.
number 1 came from. Okay, that
He
makes
was-
sense now.
He was my Batman, as I call
That's
him all
such
the
a
time.
tough way.
No, that's dope. Yeah, and it's crazy that you bring up like that. That was the time that you remember most because
Yeah.
you got extremely excited about it, being the fact that like you were in the clubhouse, you were around, like a lot of the big leaguers and things like that. So it's crazy to say like that time of your life was, what you remember the most about, your pops. But around that time, like, were you playing Little League? Were you, just practicing with him?
Yeah.
Like, what did that look like?
So like I started playing organized baseball at 8.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
yeah, so before that it's just me and dad in the park. I'm not even playing with other kids. And then
Still better than them.
I mean, that's just the DNA at that point. You can't control that.
For sure.
So I started playing organized at 8, and then during
Who'd you play
that
for? Do you remember who you played for?
Yeah. OLS. It was a little league in the Lower East Side.
Okay.
And I played for them. I played for that league, and then like on the weekends, on Sundays, I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't remember playing on the weekends when I was that age. So like the weekends, I was just with him, and we was traveling everywhere. I'm talking like Queensbridge, Randall's, Manhattan, somewhere over there, like everywhere. So I'm practicing with him. Essentially, if you really think about it, from 8 to 8. And then he's not playing on bum teams. So there'll be sometimes he'll play at 8 in the morning and they'll blow them out. So his 12 o'clock game, he's there like an hour and a half early.
Yeah.
Ground balls, throwing, hitting, and I'm swinging men bats. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
33 30s, dragging them on. Yeah.
So, I was definitely playing at that time, but it was very early stages of my career.
Yeah.
Very early stages, yeah.
Now, around what age would you say that you started to like really take the game serious to where you took like a control of it and said, nah, I'm about to be the one who's about to start putting it on people?
You know what's funny is that when I first started coaching, I started with the 10U team. That 10U team right now, very few of them already graduated in the class of 25, but the majority of them are graduating now. So you got JJ Alvarez, he's committed to Townsend. I had Coach Victor Acosta, he's committed to St. John's.
Nice.
A few of those guys were like some of the better guys in the city, and they were 10 years old, like just turned 10. Like they were gonna play that summer at 10. And parents were asking me like, oh, like what age do you think is appropriate to start working out and this and that? And I'm like, me and my dad started at 10.
Yeah.
Like I remember very vividly, like we watching the Little League World Series, and that
That's a
comes
dream for everybody to be on TV.
so that comes around like August, early September.
Yep.
Very true.
My summer already finished. I had finished. I was playing on like 2 teams that summer, so my summer already finished. There was no such thing as like a fall ball. at that time. It was like you just were a kid,
Yeah.
go do some other kid stuff.
Yeah,
And then
Usually playing basketball, people usually play
football. Some kids play football, some this karate or whatever. So we there and I'm watching the game and cause I'm seeing kids from Cali, 6'1", 5'11",
Off the phone,
5'10", 140, and I'm like, yo, how they get so big? And
Right.
like, cause I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yo, that's only 2 years away. Like, how are they so talented?
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, you got to go outside every day. So
And your dad's telling you this?
yeah, my dad is telling me. So I'm like, I'm a very literal person. I took that dead serious. Like 14 days straight outside, like handball, ground balls off the wall, hitting whatever he's practicing with me. And it got to a point where like I forced him to go outside so often to practice with me that he had to teach me how to practice with my friends. So I think that's what took it to the next level for me.
And what do you
what I'm
mean by
saying?
that? Like how teaching you how
Like
to practice
like
with your
for
friends?
example,
Is that
like
because he was working, or is that because he was just like, yo,
it was
listen, I can't keep up with the way I'm
it was both. It was both. He was working. He obviously has other kids that he had to
For
be a
sure,
father to.
for sure.
And it was more so I think that my father very, very early on was like, this is your journey. Like he
Wow, that's what's
never
up.
I
That's
love
what's
that.
up.
yeah, like I don't like a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, your father must have pushed you hard. And I'm like,
That's what I thought.
I actually pushed him hard. I actually pushed him hard. Like there was plenty of times where I'm like, yo, like he's like, all right, one more round. And I'm like, no, like you have somewhere to be. You think like you have something to do right now? Let me know. Like, and he's like, nah, I don't. I'm like, all right, so we're gonna keep going. Like we're gonna keep going. So yeah, just putting in the work constantly, just all the time. And as far as going back to what you're saying with the practicing, little stuff like knowing the right angle to do soft toss from, like with your friends. Like as crazy as this may sound, like hitting ground balls. I took
Yeah, it's a skill, low-key. That's low-key
it really
a skill.
is. It really is. And I learned how important those small things were. Like my dad teaching me how to practice with my friends about 2 years ago. I had these 5-6 kids that I'm training, and we went through our whole regimen of field and whatever. And I said, you at the end will play errors. I said,
Damn, that
whoever
was
makes
the
an
best
error,
game. I love that game.
I said, yeah, whoever makes an error comes in hit. So I'm hitting ground balls. This kid makes an error. No over exaggeration. He threw the ball up and swung and missed 5 times in a row. So I'm looking at, I brought them all in. I said, let me ask you a question. Like, the only time you pay, like, are getting better at baseball is when you pay for it. Like when you pay for a trainer. They're like, yeah. I'm like, you don't see that as a problem? Like, even if you have an unlimited budget, like, this is an everyday thing. Like, I was in the parks every day.
Yeah.
Like, how, even if it's $20 a day, like, that's gonna run you up at the end of the month. So
That's a fact.
yeah, just my dad teaching me how to practice, I feel like that's what took me to the next level. Because at that point, I'm not saying I didn't need him, but I didn't need him at that point.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
At that point,
yeah.
it was a luxury to have him to practice with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think that's what separated that part right there.
I've honestly never heard that,
Never.
because usually, and all respect to your dad, but usually the dads want to be there all the time. Like they're pushing their kids,
Yup.
and they're like, "Yo, one more, no, do one more." And, kids like, "I want to go play Fortnite, I want to go home," or something like that. But you were forcing him to stay out there, where he had to teach you, like, "Yo, listen, I can't really be there all the time, so you got to do it yourself." But it takes a lot to, especially as a kid, which kind of shows your passion for the game,
Yup.
to like want to do that yourself. You know what I'm saying? So
I think my dad took pride in not being one of those parents, so to speak. If I could just say it just like
not
that.
for sure.
Like he really took pride in that. Like he didn't want to be the rah dad. Like he didn't even want to coach me. I had to beg him to coach me.
Interesting. Usually it's the complete
Yeah.
opposite. Like you
Yeah,
want to
like,
I'm talking about they on you,
Yo,
bro.
from my first year, I was like, yo, dad, like I'm noticing like every team that we play against, like
There's sons on the team.
one of the coaches got a kid on the team. Like,
Yeah.
why you don't coach me? And from the ages of like 8 to 10, he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. I'm just here to as your dad, whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't think nothing of it. And then we had a situation happen when he was trying to make a comeback. So I was 12. He was trying to make a comeback, like
the
to
league.
play.
Okay.
And so he's in the independent ball playing with the Newark Bears. And I was in a tournament in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And he had a coach that he grew up with that he was like, yo, put him on the team so you go help me coach. So we had got into an argument, me and that coach, and it was over something baseball related.
Okay.
And like a normal 12-year-old that's raging, I'm like, oh, this is why I'd rather have my dad here, blah, blah, blah. And then I go and talk to my dad about it. And ended up being that the coach his knowledge was limited at that point. And I got to a point where I was like, I can't get coached by these type of coaches.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
Yo, that's crazy to say as
Yeah,
a
like,
12-year-old.
It's a gift it's a gift and a curse. Like I explain this to the kids all the time. Like what my dad gave me is a gift and a curse. Like I explain this to them too. Like you gave me the knowledge too early. And what happened was by the time I got to 12 years old, I know more than grown men. So you get this label of being uncoachable, and that's not what happened.
It's not the case.
It's not that I
yeah.
didn't want to listen to you. I heard what you said. It's just some bullshit. Like, yeah, that was the problem. So you gotta understand, like, my dad started. I'm traveling with my dad from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 5 straight years.
Yeah.
I'm going to parks with him all day long.
Yeah.
When it rains, we're watching. This is when the East Coast games were first, and then the West Coast games were right after. Y'all watching 10 games a week with him. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like
Breaking
we
the
watching
game down.
Unconsciously,
Yeah,
you're just
my
building
grandmother's she grew up a baseball fan too, so she had the blackout package. You get what I'm saying? All those games, those Midwest games that get blacked out, we watching them. So we watching games, no bullshit. 10 to 15 games, 14 games a week. So I'm learning from a big leaguer. He's standing right next to me.
Talking about the
we
game.
had TiVo, so he hit the boop pause. You get what I'm saying? So, I swear to God.
Yo.
I swear to God. So by the time I turned 12, now I'm out here getting coached by other guys, and I'm like,
that don't have
that's
half that
wrong.
experience.
Like
Yeah.
that's wrong. Like that is inherently wrong. So I had to break it to my dad. Like I can't get coached by nobody else. And he saw that it was becoming a problem. He's like, all right, like this is gonna be a problem if I don't start coaching.
Step in,
So,
Yeah.
thankfully, that year 13, all the way up until I stopped playing, so for the 4 or 5 years, he coached me.
That's,
That's
it was.
dope.
It wasn't pleasant during the time.
Yo,
honestly.
I've never heard it, or I've never even thought about it in that type of light, you know, because everyone dreams of having, you know, probably like a major league dad and stuff like that, but you don't really sit down and really think about, you have access to a level of knowledge that 95 to 99% of the people don't have access to. There's only 750 major leaguers on that in the MLB, like active playing. So he has access to only the top of the top. So it's just like, to hear that he gave you the knowledge too early, that's probably one of the craziest things I've ever heard. And it goes back to, my bad, and it goes back to, because, you know, I had the luxury of playing with Eli for a very long time, like 2-3 years. And he had that label where people would look at him sideways because like, yo, he has this attitude, he has this bravado to him. But it's just like, now that you're explaining it, it makes so much sense. How the hell can you tell a kid who just learned from a major leaguer, played 10 years in the bigs, he's breaking stuff down? How are you going to tell this kid something? The furthest you went was high school.
Yeah, so now, like, it's hard to say it like that, but it comes up.
You got to call a spade a spade.
You get what I'm saying? Like, not to compare LeBron to my dad, but like, can you imagine how Bronny feels? Can you imagine how Bryce feels? Like, they're getting it every day from a man that is arguably considered one of the best.
And this is their lifestyle. Like
and
every day,
again, not to you know, to give my father, you know, too much, but like he's one of the best players to ever come out of New York. Like I put as Manny one, and then he's second. Like
that's a fact.
And I said, yo, the only reason why Manny's above you is because he got a ring. He got a couple rings. Like, if you would have won the ring or two, I'd have put you at number one. Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's very hard to be that kid growing up and your father or even your mother in certain situations, right? Like giving them so much information, and now you get put out into the world that other people trying to teach you, and it's like, no, that's not how it goes. So now you get this label of being uncoachable, being all these negative things at 10, 12, 13 years old. And I'm like, I just know more than you. Like,
respectfully,
Damn. So like, how does that translate you know, going into high school and everything like that? And does it mold your decision of going to high school? Like, did baseball even make the decision for you for what high school you went to?
Nah.
Yo, he has the most unorthodox story in the world, and I love it, bro.
So, as a freshman, as an 8th grader, I got accepted to go to Grand Street right away. So Grand Street it still is separated into 3 different schools. Okay, it's EBT, Enterprise Business and Technology. Okay, Progress High School, and at the time it was called Legal Studies. Now it's called USA. Okay, and I had got accepted to EBT, which is like the better academic school in that one. And I had played with a friend that he was a year ahead of me. So I was playing up a 12U in 7th, 8th grade, and he was already in 9th grade.
Okay.
And he was at Bishop Ford.
Okay.
So the school had closed down already. He's at Bishop Ford, and our families are really close. So his parents convinced my mom to go on a tour. So in my head, I'm like, I'm already accepted to Grand Street. School year's almost over. We're going on a tour. So I asked my mother, I said, what time is the tour? She's like, in the morning. I'm like, oh yes, that means I don't have to go to school. We're gonna use this. We're gonna use this to our advantage. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna use this tour to not go to school in June. I already took my state test. Everything was over.
Okay.
So I go, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like as crazy as this may sound, I wasn't listening to a word that man said. Coach Hanrahan, he's at Faro now. I wasn't listening to a word you're saying. Sorry, Coach. I'm sorry. But I had my mindset on Grand Street.
Right.
Like, at that time, Dylan Betances already came out. Jose Zuniga was doing his thing there. Like, it was just, if you was one of the better players in Bushwick, you went to Grand Street.
Yeah.
It was just, that was the thing.
Sense.
And I wanted to be a part of that legacy. My father obviously went there in the 90s.
Wow.
And I just wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And so I go on this tour, not listen to a single thing. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm looking at the girls, cool. And then we get to the last part of it. And mind you, I've been in public school for 8 years. So it's chicken tenders, pizza, French fries.
Peanut butter jelly.
Right. I get to Bishop Ford's lunchroom, and it was fettuccine Alfredo with chicken, fettuccine Alfredo with shrimp, fresh baked cookies, burritos, and everything is steaming. And I'm like,
The smoke coming off that
what?
shit.
I look at the coach, I'm like, check this out. We got in the tour right now. I'm coming here. So
Off the strength of the meal.
Straight off for school.
yes. So to answer your question, originally yes, I made my decision in 7th and 8th grade to go to Grand Street because I knew, okay, this is the best school in this area.
Yeah.
Right.
But then when I saw the fettuccine Alfredo, which is my favorite meal, it was very hard for me to turn that down.
Nah, yeah.
It really was. But that year it wasn't easy for me. To be honest with you, I didn't pass a single class.
What do you feel like was tough about like?
So you went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
I went,
So,
I stood there
you
for 4
remember
years.
your schedule being like A through G?
Yeah.
So
A
that's
through G?
that's
Nah, I
more
don't-
than 5 letters, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying? So in my head, I'm like, okay, A, B, C, D, E, that's our 5-day schedule. But then when I come back on Monday, do I go back to A or do I go to F? And then do I
Oh, facts.
Yes. So that confused the life out of me. So it was not only that, but then the free periods. I didn't understand that. So I never forget this. On D-Day, I had 2 free periods, first and second.
Okay.
So it was my first D-Day of the year. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I don't got to be in school until like 10:30. Bet. I come into school at 10:30, bacon, egg, and cheese on the roll, everything bagel, right? Everything. I walk in with the orange juice. The head coach of varsity that recruited me to go there was the head dean. So he's in the front of the school. So I walk in. He's like, hey, Eli, like you just came in? Because they let you leave to go get breakfast or lunch or whatever.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah. He goes, wait, like you just got here? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, what's the problem? He goes, let me see your schedule. So that he's explaining to me like, oh, you got to go to homeroom first and this and that. So between that and, to be honest with you, and this is no shade against like Catholic school education, I just felt like I couldn't resonate with those teachers. I couldn't grow a relationship. Like,
Okay.
those teachers were expecting you to come in knowing the information. Like,
Yeah.
there was no warm up.
I know exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to the month of September at least being like a refresher, and then we get into the information of
Nah,
the
they
year.
getting right into it.
Yeah.
Yo, first day of school. First day of school, I'm in geometry. She gives me a test, and in my head, I'm like, "Oh, this don't count." So I'm about to A B C D A, right, just to get through it.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I'm like, "Oh, does it count?" She's like, "Yeah, it counts. You should have been doing this over the summer." So I'm like, "I haven't picked up a pencil since May." She goes, "That's your problem."
Yeah.
That's when I
literally
knew
how
I
it
was in a different situation because I'm like, I never had a teacher tell me that before.
Facts.
So between that and just being lazy, to be honest with you, I never was a good student. I never was a good student.
Athlete, student. Like
athlete-
Cam always says.
Actually, no. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna explain why I made that decision. So I go there. I end up leaving the school with 2 credits. No over exaggeration. And the reason why I got those 2 credits is because I grew a relationship with the English teacher at the time, and she grew a liking to me, and she was like, "All right,
blessed it,
here,
yeah.
take it." So I went there. I left with no regents. So I basically had to go to like an alternative school and get my GED.
yeah.
And thankfully, I didn't have to.
Okay.
Because at Grand Street, Melvin was able to pull some strings, and I got into school.
Nice.
But
Shout out to Melvin.
yeah. So to answer your question, it was a complete it was such a big adjustment for me that I don't think I would have been able to sit there that whole year, another year, and really like make things happen.
So I'm assuming you didn't even play baseball then that year.
I mean,
Oh boy.
in Catholic school, it's a little different.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't have a real straight answer for you because I failed every class, but I played JV. So I guess
crazy.
I was brought in, so not to toot my own home, but Bishop Ford didn't have a starting freshman on varsity for like 15 years leading up to that point.
Wow.
And I was coming in to be the first freshman in like 15 years to start on varsity.
That's what's up.
And I messed that up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I messed that up. Me not passing my classes. I went to practice every day, but I was just a headache to deal with at school.
Of course he was.
Yeah, like
Priorities,
also
right?
too, like 8 years of school leading up to that point, I never wore uniform.
That's another part
now-
of it.
It's a big change.
Now,
It's a big change.
when I got to Bishop Ford, my class, that 2013 graduating class, was the first class that they gave polos to. So prior to that, all you have to do is wear
Suit and
button down,
tie,
suit and tie,
yeah.
class and
I mean,
stuff.
not suit, but
So
yeah.
I'm like, all right, I look a little older. They don't know me. Let me just get away with some suit and tie stuff, some button downs, whatever. I was getting written up left and right for that. Left and right. So it was that. And I was just causing problems in the school. Like,
Yeah.
our teacher would give me extra credit work. I wouldn't show up. Like, just doing dumb stuff.
yeah.
And he basically was like, yo, you're going to go play JV. So I was like, oh, yeah? Well, if you put me to play JV, I'm going to Grand Street next year. He was like, okay. And he called my bluff.
Oh, you told him that?
Yeah, because
Gangster.
it wasn't like that. It was just in my head, I got to a space where I was like, all right, if you're bringing you gave me the full ride.
Yeah.
You're bringing me here to start on varsity. What do you mean that you're sending me down to JV? Like, what are you talking about? Now, in my head, I didn't know the difference between Catholic school JV and a public school JV. I just thought it was all relative.
What do you mean by that?
Catholic school JV is really good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. with you. I'm coaching.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah,
I can
this
vouch
is
for
my
that for
third
sure.
year coaching at Grand Street, and Catholic schools they just do it a little differently too.
Yeah,
like
structure.
A little more structure,
yeah, and they-
organized. Yeah.
Like I'll be honest with you, I coached a kid. He's at Malloy now. His name is Ben Wallace.
Okay.
Swear to God, his name is Ben Wallace.
crazy.
You know what's funny too? He's right now. He's like 6'5", so he's huge. He's huge, and he plays ball.
That's funny.
But I'm coaching Ben Wallace, and he at the time he was like 6'2", as a freshman throwing like 82, 83, and I'm like, yo, what school you go to? Like, what varsity team you on? He was like, oh, no, I'm on JV at Malloy. And I'm like,
That's how it be though.
Yep.
you must have like 3 no-hitters already. Because I can't think of a JV kid like catching up to 83,
Yeah.
84. But yeah, it was just different. So
No, that's
in my head, I'm
facts.
thinking JV, I'm like, damn, I'm about to be with a bunch of bums and this and
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But it wasn't like that at all. However, I still wasn't happy about it. Of
course.
Because in my head, I'm like,
That's not what I
No.
came
You
here
don't
for.
deserve to be
That's
here.
not-
Yeah.
that's not what I came here for.
That's a fact.
So I kind of said it in a way where like, cartoon words, you wish you could just push it back in your mouth. I said it and I kind of regretted it after because it kind of caused friction between me and that coach. Our
Sure,
relationship.
for sure.
But yeah, I said it and I was just like, yeah, I'm out. Like, you bugging. And I played the year out. I did pretty well. And at the end of the year, I went to the office to get some of my bats and he was like, you still going to Grand Street? I was like, yeah, I am. Because this is another thing too. I could have got called up halfway during the year.
Okay.
They were struggling. The varsity team was struggling, like not just on the pitching side, like on the hitting side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the
Maybe,
schedule and I'm
yeah.
like, oh, okay, this team is not that strong. Maybe they'll call me up to play against that team.
Just to see
Maybe
how
I'll
I'll
make a
do or
start
something
then.
like that, yeah.
Exactly. No. So I'm like, oh, you're gonna go all the way to the playoffs and not call me
Heard
up?
you.
That's they get to the playoffs, they get eliminated in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm like,
I'm up there. Yeah.
JV made it to the semis. So we was clowning the varsity team like, yo, we made it further than y'all, blah, blah, blah. And we
You
lost
guys
to
coming to watch our game?
They were. We
Got
lost to
to.
St. Raymond's on a walk-off. So, but yeah, so like it just wasn't a good fit for me. And I'll explain why. So now that I'm a paraprofessional, that's my actual job. I've been
What is that just
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
people?
so kids with special needs, they need assistance. So some kids, they may need like mobile assistance, whether they're partially blind or partially deaf, or some kids that have autism and they need like help reading or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's my role.
That's dope.
That's
Yeah,
amazing,
so-
God bless, bro, for real.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
fact. That's
kind of like
impact. That's impact.
Yeah, it's like the DOE's way of like saying like, oh, you want to be a teacher? All right, we'll start here first. And it's kind of like entry level to being a teacher and shit like that. But yeah, I love it.
That's what's up.
yeah, so I'm talking to a lot of these teachers and they're confused as to why some of these kids are just like academically lazy. And I try to explain to them, I'm like, listen, like these kids are coming from a certain background that they don't have time to waste on studying. As crazy as that may sound, to give you the best idea of what that means is I was 12 years old and like I told you, I'm playing on that 13U team. And I had a friend on the team. I won't say no names, but I had a friend on the team that was basically 2 years older than me.
Okay.
He was, one of those like baseball 14s. He was that. And he made
I am
it.
12.
Yo, bro, he made it. Yeah, he made it by like 2 or 3 days. So he was really like a I am 12 type of guy. So he was basically like 2 years older than everybody. And one day I'm in 7th grade and I got a report card, 69 average, worst I ever did. Even like I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
This is horrible. So my mother's bombing on me, yo, why your grades are this and that? And like typical, sometimes parents do, they compare you to your friends. So she goes, yo, why you can't be like this kid? He has good grades and he's good at baseball. So I took that serious. I kind of got offended by that because, again, I'm not going to name no names, but that kid was nowhere near me at that time. And I'm 2 years younger than you. You're a freshman. I'm in 7th grade. So I'm like, yo, you really think that kid is better than me? Like, for real? And she was like, well, he's good. I'm like, all right, let's break it down. Is he faster than me? Does he do this? Does he do this? And everything she said was no. Now, mind you, my mother is not just a mom that played the game of baseball. Like, my mom dated my dad in his prime years.
So she's seeing everything.
She know
She's seen the actual grind. You get what I'm saying? Like when my dad won the Dick Hauser at Howard, they were dating.
Yeah.
They were like 2 or 3 years in. Like when my dad's breaking records, hitting 20 home runs in high school, like she was there. She was in the parks practicing with him, so she knows what it takes. And also, he was on a stud team with youth service. That was the team that had Coco Flores. They had Manny. Mel Zitter was their coach. Like, you want to talk about these FTB Phillies teams and stuff like that. Like,
they had nothing on. And respectfully.
FTB Philly teams are
doing
great.
the thing.
But you talking about guys that weren't starters on that youth service team that were getting drafted.
Yeah.
That is
They weren't
wicked.
starters.
That is wicked.
That means that like there's 9 players on the team. They were like the 10th or 11th man. They did not start. They're playing the second game of the doubleheader and they're getting drafted.
Yeah.
That is
So
nuts.
yeah, so I'm explaining to the teachers like, listen, I'm explaining to my mother like, listen, like you're telling me that this kid is not better than me. Do you think that when push comes to shove and we go to college that he's gonna get a better scholarship offer than me? She's like, well, we don't know. And I'm like, well, listen, the way I see it is this. He's spending time studying. Those 2-3 hours that he's spending studying, I'm working to get better. And that gap is already showing now. So by the time I get to by the time I'm a sophomore, he's a senior. You get what I'm saying? And again, he ends up going to a lower level college. I ended up going to the #1 junior college in the country at Howard. So by that time came around, I signed my letter of intent. I was like, I asked my mother straight up, like, do you think it was worth it? Because at the end of the day, like, that's what it was about for me. It was about me trying to get out the hood with this baseball. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I had it fixated that I wasn't going to do it with education. I've grown to know now as an adult at 30 years old that was wrong.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that was
growth.
That was a wrong decision, to be real with you. But it, like anything else in life, it doesn't hit you until it's too late. Of
course. For sure.
So Kelvin Flores, who's the head coach at Grand Street, he's been my best friend since we've been about 13, 14. And we would go out to these tournaments to play. And I would never forget it. Radford University. They came up to us when we were in Maryland before they built the new park. And me and Kelvin dominated that game. He went like 3 for 4.
And this is when
we were at
Grand Street.
Yeah, we were at Grand Street, but this is the summertime.
Okay.
So he went like off. I went off that game, and the coach was like, "Oh, Eli, like, we love the way you play. This is at the third. What's your GPA?" So I go 75. He looks at me, he goes, we'll be in touch. Kelvin is 6 inches away from me, so he just goes like this, and he goes, what about you? Kelvin had like an 85 at the time. Now he's asking questions to Kelvin that you're not asking me.
Yeah.
What you mean what's his email? You ain't ask me what's my email. Why you asking for his school schedule? You didn't ask me for mine. We go to the same school. So then it just started to click. I'm like, oh, I closed a lot of doors with this.
Yeah.
I closed a lot of doors with this. So this is the reason why, like, I sort of used this story a little bit to push onto my kids. Like, it's not going to work the way you think it is having shitty grades. It's not. And ultimately it worked, bro, because right now, as a team, we have an 87 average.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's
so
what's up.
like last year we had an 85, this year we got an 87, so it's working.
It's just gonna keep compounding.
Yeah,
That's
no,
tough.
I love
It's
that.
working.
I think one thing I really want to highlight, bro, is that you were super intentional.
Yes,
Like
hell
you,
yeah.
like anything that you set your mind to. Like, listen, I'm not really gonna care about school, but you had at least at the time, a valid reasoning
I had to
for
be, bro.
why. And it's crazy because you were like ahead of your time when it came to that. I feel like because I didn't really see anybody thinking like that. Like, listen, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna go practice by myself, or listen, school wise, I'm not really gonna make it school wise, but I know baseball will have a much higher ceiling with that. So let me just focus a little more on that. That says a lot about you.
Yeah, I think you know what it was. It was to go back to those softball games. Yeah, I'm practicing with my dad and this and that, but another big thing he gave me was we'll be in the park and he'll be like, "You see that guy right there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You think he's good?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, he's nice." He goes, "Oh, he should have made it, but he was in the streets. He got arrested." Or, "Oh, he ended up getting a girl pregnant at 15, 16. Or, "Oh, he went to college and messed it
You
up."
saw
over
the
there."
reality of
of
what it
everything.
was.
What? I got to see the end product. Now I see that man at 29, 30 years
that's
old.
crazy.
You work in sanitation. I see you mad every day. And it's not that you mad at the world, but you mad you didn't make it.
Yourself, yeah.
And I ended up becoming one of those guys. That ultimately is like what I try to push onto my kids. Like with the kids that I coach, I'm like, yo, don't be that guy.
Yeah.
And how I became that guy was the reason why I'm here today is because
Yeah.
it didn't work out in college. It didn't work out. I was too immature. I like to believe I probably went to the wrong place, to be honest with you. And there's no offense to Howard. It's just, I didn't go on a visit. It's in Big Springs, Texas, and I'm in Brooklyn, New York. I've never even been to the state of Texas. At that time. So I'm going off for the merit that my dad went there. Y'all just won a trip in 2011. So I'm like, all right, cool. Y'all the number one junior college in the country. I got a full ride. All right, bet, let's do it.
It just made sense.
Exactly. It just made sense. So I'm like, all right, cool. Then I get there and it's a completely different world. I see a real tumbleweed for the first time.
So you see a cartoon.
Yeah. And it just,
wicked.
I couldn't get on the same page with the coach. And like I said, I try to use my story just to make those kids understand, like, yo, like, this could get dark real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, real quick. And it did, to be honest with you. Like,
And you bring up Howard, like, I definitely want to go into, some of those situations, but I definitely want to bring it back a little to Grand Street. Like, what were some of your, like, those times that kind of stand out of you being at Grand Street? Because I know you mentioned, going from Ford and, kind of struggling there. Well, not necessarily struggling.
No, I struggled.
With the school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But baseball-wise, you elevated. And then, so what was that transition like over to Grand Street?
It was weird because it was like I knew everybody there already, but I wasn't there for the first year. So
Yes,
like,
you didn't have that synergy that
everybody had
from
friends
freshman
already,
year,
and it
yeah.
wasn't weird. It was just like, I guess it was weird for me because like I knew them, and then I'm like, wait, how you friends with that person? How you know them? And they're like, oh, I just had classes. with them.
Yeah.
All right, but the I think the real transition happened once baseball came around.
Okay.
I'll be real with you. As a student, I was numb. Like I came up with a system to just get a 75, and I obeyed that system. I raised my hand as much as I could. I did all my homework, and I went to school.
You're being
every day.
intentional again. Listen,
I went to school every day.
day.
You know what I'm saying? I figured out real quickly. I said, you know what? I'm gonna raise my hand till the teacher tells me to put my hand down. And then I said, okay, I'm a
Participation
terrible
points going
test
crazy.
taker. Yeah, I'm a terrible test taker. How can I make that up? Oh, I'm gonna do all my homework.
Participation,
I'm gonna
low
do
points.
all my homework. Okay, I can't do good in school projects or whatever. All right, I'm gonna be at school every day on time. So I had a really early on, I guess, being intentional. I think
fact.
what guided that was just seeing my father. Like he's a real
Environment. You
intentional man.
know me. Like I'm big.
Say that's,
what am I saying?
That's your saying, baby.
Your environment's gonna change you before you can change it. Always.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely.
And it shows by how you carry yourself, you know, your demeanor, you know, your intention and things like that.
Yeah, I think because of that, I avoided being a product of my environment. I'm from the hood. Like, every hood got their own thing that they know.
For sure.
My hood is known for boosting. So, like, stealing clothes and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, racking and
there's
stuff,
been
yeah.
several times I walked into the lobby, there's 150 clothes alarms on the floor. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm
Tags,
from.
yeah.
So, I see that, and then I see my father, who was from that same neighborhood, make it out, make something for himself. And I'm like, okay, I have a goal. I have something I'm looking at every day that I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, it is possible.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But back to the Grand Street thing, what
Stood out.
was that real transition moment was the first baseball practice. I took one ground ball and Melvin pulled me out of the gym. I swear to God. And at first I thought I was scared because I was scared at first because I thought I did something wrong. Because I'm like, I just called one ground ball. What the fuck did I do? And
What
at
year was
that
this, by the
time,
way? Sorry to cut you
this
off.
was 2010 going into 2011. So the school year of 2010-11.
So that was like sophomore, junior year?
Yeah, I was a sophomore. You was a freshman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Because you graduated in 14.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was a sophomore. That was my first year at Grand Street.
Okay.
And Quaz was Jose Quaz was the shortstop.
Okay.
And they had some other guy playing third, and then they had another guy playing second. So my plan was to come in and play second base because I felt like me and the guy that matched up at second base, I just felt like I had a better opportunity.
Yeah.
Jose was already 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
So I take one ground ball, and Melvin's like, "Oh, do you want to be the shortstop of this team?" And I'm like, "Hell no!" Like straight up, I told him, "Hell no," because to me, I had a real understanding at a young age about environment, and I just so happened to be the person like that will kind of like make or break that environment as a kid.
Okay.
Because when you grow up being Frank's son, it's, oh, he wasn't doing, oh shit, that's Frank's son, that's Frank's son. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, I've had that feeling for so long that now, by the time I'm 14, 15, I'm like, all right, let me play the corner of the room, and then I work my way to the middle. So I told him no, I was like, listen, I don't know nobody on the team yet. I don't think it's a good situation because I'm going to mess up the chemistry. So I end up playing second base.
Yo, that's so mature. Though.
Yeah.
Yo,
No,
bro, shout out to you for that.
Thank you.
Shout out to you for
the
that.
real reason why I did that is because the friends I had on the team, none of them were starters.
Okay.
So the guys that started on the team, I didn't really know them. I didn't know the third baseman. I didn't know Quaz. I knew his younger brother, Alex. I didn't know the left fielder. Ralphie was the center fielder. I didn't know him. We had Charlie in right field. I grew up with him a little bit, but it was like I didn't really know these guys. My friends were on the bench because they were younger. So I'm like, damn, like I don't want to mess up the chemistry. And that was and the first time we ran. That was the first time we did an Indian run on the track, and that's when I got
PTSD.
introduced. Yeah,
Indian runs. Bro.
That's when I realized, as crazy as this may sound, that's when I realized I'm like, oh, a lot of these kids actually don't work hard. Because I was expecting to be dead after that running. I was expecting to throw up, and I just wasn't. I just wasn't, and I think my father prepared me for that. But I just wasn't. And then, like the transition that we're talking about, that's when I knew I belonged. Because I had fears a little bit. Because again, you telling me in 8th grade coming out, I'm gonna be the first starting freshman in 15 years to go on varsity. Then that whole debacle happened.
Yeah.
Then I come to Grand Street, and then I'm like, damn, I don't even know. Like, I'm uncertain about stuff. So like, my whole career leading up to that point was, I'm hitting 700 in the summer, going off, doing this, that, and the third, winning MVPs on my team, and then I go to Bishop Ford, and like it kind of crumbled a little bit. So I was unsure, and then like just putting in the work there, that's when I realized I was like, oh, I belong.
Yeah.
Like this isn't just like oh, I'm a little good, I just need to work harder. Like, no, I really belong.
Yeah.
But
That's
that was a
crazy.
big transition for me.
I want to specifically talk about that 2012 year that you guys won the championship because I was in CHSAA. I told you guys, I went to Xavier. It's the Catholic School League. And I was even hearing of the noise that Grand Street was making from the kids that were on the team. And around this time, I had already gotten exposed to playing with you. I think I had played one summer at the
It was a fall tournament. We played with Pride.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was Pride. So then that's how we kind of got to know each other. And then that's when I started to realize, oh shit, like I want to go to PSAL type of thing. So I want to talk about that 2012 Grand Street team, because that team to me was like a very legendary team, at least for me, because I never got the chance to tell you, but you and your father really played a big role in my development as a player, because I thought I was good. And then we went to that Pride team, and I saw the way your dad was practicing, how he was hitting ground balls, how you're taking ground balls. Kelvin, I'm like, oh, no, hold on. They're in a league like a step above me. I have to pick it up. So I want to know, how was that team like? What was the chemistry? Just talk to us about
Before
that.
I get into that, I explained the Pride thing. So how I met him was my dad started working in Pro Swing.
Yep.
That was in,
what is that?
In Portchester.
Yeah, so
I know where that's
facility.
at.
It's a
I know where
facility
that's
in
at.
Portchester,
Yeah, I
Connecticut.
know where
So
that's at.
I'm coming from Grand Street, so I gotta take the Metro North up there.
Yeah.
So I went up there one time when he drove, and I fell in love with the place. I was like, oh shit, this is what I need to get to that next level.
Yeah.
They had the Vertimax,
Yup.
batting cages,
Yup.
huge ground ball area, place to run, lift, do all. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to train here. So that's how I met him.
Yep.
As far as the 2012 team, I'll be honest with you, that was like a revenge tour for me, because like I was explaining to him earlier, the year before in 2011, I believe we should have won it then, because we had a good team. The problem was that I was making errors left and right. I'm talking like between the legs, like cartoonish errors. I'm talking like bad. It got so
Right.
bad. One of the pitchers on the team started calling me E4. Swear to God, because my second.
Yeah.
So he started calling me E4. So
That's crazy.
I made. We played in Timeville that year. That's when Kevin Krause was there.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys remember Kevin Krause. Kevin
not
Krause
familiar.
was there.
I heard the name a couple times.
Yeah, he ended up going to Stony Brook. That team that won it. in
Okay.
Stony Brook
Oh
that year,
yeah. With
he was on that team.
who else was on that team? Will. I forgot that. I think he was a third baseman. He was a black dude, big black dude.
Yeah, it was a few New York guys like from the city that was on that team.
Yeah.
And we playing that team, and we kind of had them. Like we would have a few innings where we up by 1 or 2, and then we go on defense. I make another error. We down 1. I made 5 errors in 2 games, but I had 9 hits in 2 games. So that season actually, it was hell for me, because that summer we go to the World Series was in Oklahoma, Wassa, and I kept making errors again. I don't know if you guys ever went to a Beast of the East.
Nah.
It was a tournament in Virginia, and that tournament at that time, they didn't have a 15U bracket.
Okay.
They only had a 16U bracket. So we went in as a 15U team, and we're
Playing
dominating we're dominating the whole tournament. Like, the team that we was gonna play in the chip game, we already beat them like 9-2. And that in the semifinal game, I made another 3 errors. We up 9-1. I made 3 errors. Gone. We down 11-1. Swear to God. 11-9. We down 11-9. So I'm like, yo, what? Cried like a baby. I'm talking like panic attack. Crying crazy. And then after that, long trip home. I'm talking long drive home. I didn't say a single word. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not playing the infield no more. Because I keep making errors. I must suck. I also felt like I was at a point in my life where I was like, I have to make a decision now if I want to do this infield stuff, because I have the tools to play the outfield, but I would have to get a little faster. Like, my arm is stupid strong, but I was like, I have to get a little faster.
Yeah,
so I was kind of like
down.
I was like fringe in between, like, do I just go hard with the infield stuff or do I do the outfield stuff?
Yeah.
So for the rest of that summer, I played the outfield. And we finished the season. Off season comes, and I'm still training as an outfielder. And I'm doing a workout, and my dad has this face where he's like, I'm wasting my time. So I'm like, what? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, like, it's not gonna work as an outfielder. I'm like,
Well,
damn, like, like, yo, relax, bro. Like, I'm throwing, like, at that time, I was a sophomore, probably throwing like 86, 87 from the outfield. Like, I'm like, yo, like, what you mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, you're gonna have to get to like a 6'5", 60. You haven't broke a 7 yet, so I don't think it's gonna happen in the outfield. He's like, look, get over what happened in the infield and put real work in. So that's when I got with Richie Bennis. Shout out Richie Bennis.
You used to work with Richie Bennis?
Yeah,
Bro,
Richie
Richie Bennis
Bennis
used to coach.
Yo.
Because I went to
Bennis
Monroe.
bats. I used to
I
get
went to
all my bats
Monroe.
from him.
Yo,
He was
Richie.
retired.
He's with the
Yeah.
Mets now. Damn,
He's
shout
with the
out to
Mets
Richie.
now.
I
Yo,
gotta
Yo, I
shout out
haven't
Richie.
heard that name in a minute.
Wow. Small world. Small world.
We had the reason why I got with Richie was because me and a couple of my friends, including Kelvin, we did a private workout for the Angels at the time.
Okay.
And
what year is
I
this?
got this is
Junior, senior year?
sophomore year.
Oh, wow.
This is sophomore year. So we did a workout for the Angels, and they used to always hold workouts there though. So we did a workout for the Angels, and on my scouting report, like this is gonna age me a little bit. I had a card, like an actual card, and it said "flipper" in quotes. So I didn't know what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
My dad didn't know what that meant. So my dad's like, "Yo, take it to Richie." So I take it to Richie. I'm like, "Yo, what does this mean?" He looks at it and he goes, "Oh." And I'm like, "Oh, what you mean? Oh." He's like, "Oh, this is not good." So I'm like, "What does that mean?" He goes, "That means that you do this when you catch ground balls.
Yep.
Every time that you do this. Like that's your timing mechanism. And at the major league level,
Yeah,
it's either gonna
you don't
hit
get
you here
cooked.
or you're not gonna get your hands down." So I'm like, "How do I fix it?" So I got with him. No exaggeration. I probably went to pro swing. That was 2 months. If there's 60 days, I probably went like a solid 45 to 50 times. Because I knew, I was like, all right, Major League father, he's telling me I'm not going to make it in the outfield. So he's probably right. he's probably right. He done played with Ken Griffey. He played with Mike Cameron. He played with Carlos Beltran in Puerto Rico. So I'm like, you know what? He played with Manny growing up. I'm like, all right, I must not have what one of them had. So clearly I'm going to just listen to him.
Facts.
So Richie Bennis just put in a lot of work. And a lot of the things I teach today is because of him.
Shout out to Richie once
Richie again. But yeah, a lot of I just got with him and he fixed me, for lack of better terms. And then that next summer, I'm trying out for area code, doing my thing. I got with the Tigers. So
That's where we really locked in with each other.
It was pretty crazy. But to go back to the Grand Street stuff, that year was a crazy year for me because now I'm going into the fall with this newfound confidence. I'm like, Richie Bennis fixed me. Let's go.
I'm not a flipper no more.
I'm never gonna make 5-6 errors in a 2-game span again. Yo, we gonna play Zavarian first game in the fall. For whatever reason, this is when Elvin was there.
Soto.
Was there.
Yep.
This is when Alex Batista was there.
Yep.
All of them, right? First inning, Gabriel swings at the first pitch. He went to Boston College. He played with youth service. Swings at the first pitch, pops it up. I'm at second base. Ball! Just like this. I said, no way. I went home. I'm like, nah, this is not happening again. This is not happening again. And then thankfully, like inning or two passed by. I got an easy 1-hopper, then a 2-hopper, and then I got like a diving play. So then like, the jitters came out. The jitters just came out. But yeah, even that to end that fall, this is how I ended up gaining the relationship I got with Kelvin. He's been that tall since he was like 11, 12 years old. No bullshit.
Damn.
It's a monster.
He's been a beast.
What?
But he didn't start getting big till like his junior year because that's when he started going to the gym. And we go to Morris High School. And for some reason, Melvin and Stevie did not put me in the game at all. First game I ever sat in my life. So I'm antsy. I'm like,
for sure.
It's cold. I'm like, yo, bro, why I'm here? Like, my body heat left my body. Like, there's no way to warm up at this point. Yeah. So I done ran all my sprints. I'm tired. So I said, you know what? Last inning, I'm taking somebody's at bat. I grab batting gloves. I put my batting gloves.
What you mean you taking somebody?
I'm taking somebody's at bat.
like you coming up on someone.
Like not getting pinched.
I'm leaving here with something. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm leaving here with something. So in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm taking this kid's at bat.
I just want to clarify. So you're not getting into pinch hit.
No, they didn't tell me to pinch hit.
This is Eli Rodriguez saying I'm a pinch hit.
Yes, Elijah's making the executive decision to come in and pinch hit. Right? So I said, all right, I grab my batting gloves, grab helmet. Kelvin just grounded out, right? He grounds out. He comes into the front. I'm walking by. I walk past him. I like sneak past him, right? And then he goes, yo, hold on, come here real quick. So now we face to face and he goes, yo, where you going? I'm like, oh, I'm about to go hit. Now, mind you, there's nobody in the box. Because I told the kid, yo, bro, Mel told me to tell you to sit down. I'm going to take that back.
Oh, you're right.
So the kid believed me because I was already there and he was like a newcomer. So like, he believed me. So I'm like, I bet.
He don't know better.
He don't know no better, right? So I go, so there's nobody in the box, and Kelvin's like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm about to go hit. He goes, Mel told you to hit? I'm looking up, I'm like, nah, he goes, so sit your ass down. And yo, bro, his hands are like this big. He puts a 6X batting glove hand in my chest and he goes, so sit your ass down. And so we ended up growing a relationship over that because, to be honest, that was the first kid that like kind of put me in my place. Bro.
Yeah.
Everybody was like a yes man in my life leading up to that point. Oh, Eli, you're so good.
Yeah.
He was the first person that was not on that timing. So that's this, mind you, this is the school year of 2011-12. So this is that fall. So we go in, we have a winter, we go,
crazy.
we playing in the Monroe tournament. Now, mind you, this year, 2012 was the first year that they opened it up for Catholic school.
Yeah.
So this is when Zavarian was there. There's that. We end up spanking Zavarian in the championship game. Right? So now, mind you, they have everybody. They had Kevin.
Yeah, they're
they
talking
had
to town.
Kelvin.
Yeah, they're talking to
They
town.
had everybody. So we spanked them 12-4, right? Mm-hmm. So now, during that time, we still had a couple of days left after the Monroe tournament is over. So now we just preparing for our season at this point. Mm-hmm. We're in practice, and Melvin and Stevie are not there. And they're very punctual men to this day. They're very, very punctual. If they say 8 o'clock, they're going to be there at 7:45, 7:30 probably, right? So 8 o'clock practice, 8:05, 8:10. We're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, 8:15. Like, yo, what's going on? Promise you. Then out of nowhere, we in gym 1 right here. I was at the school at that point for 2 years, but I was in an after-school program in the school, so I've been in that school my whole life. I never see nobody open this door. The door opens like a movie. It was so bright you couldn't see nobody. And walks in Kevin Martier. And we're like, what the fuck is he doing here? Now, Kevin and Jose were close. They were good friends.
Quaz. Okay.
Jose Quaz, they were really good friends. And I'm like, what's he doing here? I'm like, yo, but Zavarian practices all the time. He's not going to just be here for... Oh my God, he's transferring. Oh my God, he's transferred to the... Oh my God. So I started going crazy. I'm running around in the gym. I'm like, yo, Kelvin, look over there, look over there. And he's like, what? I'm like, yo, bro, that's Kevin Martier. Like, he's coming to Grand Street. He's like, how you know? I'm like, bro, I don't know what happened, but he's transferred. Come to find out, there was a whole situation with Zavarian that the coach was doing some online gambling and all of that. And Kevin's scholarship came from that. So... yeah, there was a bunch of kids. Yeah, there was a bunch
That's
of kids. There's a bunch of kids that got caught in the situation.
I heard about
but
that.
I think Kevin had got into a fight with somebody as a variant, and they expelled him. So once they expelled him, that was like the school's way of getting rid of all those kids that were associated with that. Because that coach, when he was doing the online gambling, I forgot his name. He put his personal email. So it got attached right back to him.
Yeah.
So all the kids that he was recruiting, they was trying to clip all of them. Like, if there was a senior, they was just pushing them to graduate.
Yeah, to disassociate themselves.
Junior, sophomores, they was getting them out of there. Chris P, I don't know if he was associated with that, but Chris P ended up leaving that next year. That's when Edric was at as a variant. He ended up leaving.
I remember when Edric was there. Wow, rest in peace, Edric. Rest in peace,
Everybody
Edric.
that was like from the inner city that was like on full ride scholarships, they had to leave because the school had to disassociate themselves with that.
Yo,
We
that's
benefited from
nuts.
that because Kevin came to Grand Street. So when Kevin came to Grand Street,
It was
like
over after that. I know.
the team took a new attitude, to be honest with you. The team took a new attitude because at that point it was just like, oh yeah, like we just trying to beat everybody. But when we got him, it was like, oh, it's going to be very hard to beat us now. I was the closer at that point. At that year, I only closed like 2 games because we blew everybody out. We blew everybody out. The one game I closed was the semifinals game against John Adams, and then to win the title, the division title against Madison. But that's it. That's it. We blew everybody out. So to answer your question, once that door opened, I said, oh, we getting jewelry this year. We getting jewelry this year. Yeah, but it didn't look official until he actually got with the team because, again, he's a catcher. BJ was a catcher.
That's what I was about to
BJ
ask.
was like my dog BJ.
Yeah, it was a thing like, who's going to be the guy that plays third? So it was like, all right, we got 4 games a week. You got 2, you got the other 2.
Yo, and
That's
I remember
vicious.
playing y'all. And there was times where they would switch.
Yeah.
BJ would catch.
tough.
Yeah, BJ would catch. Marti was at third, and vice versa. And they had this thing. I'll never forget this. First time we played Grand Street, BJ used to do this thing where if you're at third, if you're leading at third,
Oh my
yo,
God!
I
His
have
blind,
a video.
Yes,
They
yes.
made me
no
into
look
a meme,
snaps.
bro. They made me into a meme because the coach is pissed at me for getting picked off at third because BJ used to catch the ball, no look, throw to third.
Yeah.
on a dot. A dot. I'm talking about
Yo.
third baseman's right there.
Yeah,
Yo,
that-
I remember the first time I saw him do that shit with the Tigers. I'm there. We're doing I think it was a practice or something, or no, it was a game. We were at Diamond Nation with Jack Cuss. I'm watching the older Tigers team play. All of a sudden, BJ's receiving. Some kid is leaning off third a little too far. He's getting a little too comfortable. BJ takes one. Okay. Receive. Next thing you know,
Yeah. All the time.
Done.
He didn't-
I was
he
a
didn't-
victim. I was a
he
victim.
didn't-
I was like-
yo, the stuff I used to see him do, like I like to believe that the game that got him signed, I was there.
The
Like,
Tigers game,
Yeah,
right?
so
Yeah.
we
Right
were
off the
playing, oddly enough, we were playing Team Mizuno. And that was no, I'm sorry, not Team Mizuno. We was playing the Jack Cuss team.
yeah.
So Brendan Wagner was on that team. Shout out Brendan Wagner. He was a starting second baseman at Howard. He got drafted by the Yankees. MLB comparison was Cano, filthy. And we playing him, and they are blowing us out. Like so bad that my dad came into the dugout. He was like, yo, our summer is basically over. So check this out. There's scouts in the stands, there's college coaches in the stands. We have 3 innings left. Play as selfish as you possibly can. Play to make sure you look good during this game. BJ took that shit to heart. He did the craziest thing I ever seen. So he's catching. I'm at short when this happened. He's catching. He goes down to block. It wedges and it like pops up. So it like pops up and it's in the air. He's in a block mode. The ball's like by his face mask. In one motion, he grabs it, back picks the guy a second. Now, mind you, I've seen him do that. Not that specifically,
Yeah.
but I've seen him backpick people all the time. So I catch it, boom, get him out of here. I'm not even excited about it, right? Mm-hmm. Game ends. Mind you, we getting blown out. The Diamondbacks cross-checker, head scout, and local scout delayed the next game. They're standing on home plate. And the umpires are like, yo, you got to get up the field. They're like, yo, your game could wait. Yeah, we need to see him. Like, you need to come down today. We had a practice, a team practice. It wasn't even a team practice. It was just a showcase for the Diamondbacks for him. And then he ended up signing. So
That's
literally,
Literally
like,
signed off the field.
literally signed off the field. Like if that game happened Monday, he signed that Thursday with the Diamondbacks.
Yo, shout out to BJ.
Yeah, so he was a beast, bro. He was a beast.
That's
He was
crazy.
that 2012 team, we had like 9 guys go to college.
Talking
Like,
about
it was
college.
crazy. It was
Talking about college, then. So how does that transition you to go into Howard? Because I know that
Yeah.
you had mentioned earlier, you from Brooklyn, you had never even looked
Yeah.
at Big Springs, Texas. How did you even, how was going to Howard?
To be honest with you, I was a kid that I just wanted to be like my dad. So because of that, at 12, 13 years old, I'm looking at Howard. And I'm seeing,
That's early.
like
Shit.
I wasn't really like for the big schools. Like I fell in love with Michigan because of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really like keen to those big schools. I didn't really care for that because to me, I knew very early on if you go to a big school, you got to wait 3 years to get drafted.
Yeah.
So I said I have to go one and done. Like there's no way around it. Like I cannot have my mom in the hood for 3 years while I'm traveling the country playing. End up possibly in the Cape Cod or the North Woods, and I'm never coming back to New York to see my mother. Like,
That's a
it
fact.
gotta happen now.
Word. Yeah.
So I was turning down offers from big schools. Like I had Delaware and Delaware State offer me, Radford. I had a few schools like major D1s offer me, or low, mid-major D1s offer me, and I was just like, nah, I'm going JUCO. So when I thought everything was everything, so I get there. And I'm like, damn, this is a lot more run down than I thought it would be. And
talking about the school, like the
whole
atmosphere.
campus, the whole campus, like we had a high school football field on our campus.
I never seen that.
You get what I'm
before.
saying? Like,
That's different.
That's backwards. Like as a high school kid, it's like, yo, I got college girls coming to my game. And it sounds cool, but then it's like as a college, you're like, the high school's playing on our campus, and it's like, you remember Ryan Tannehill?
Nah.
You watch football around Tanner?
Nah.
His little brother was the quarterback. He played with the Titans for a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a big adjustment, and I just don't feel like it was a fit for me. And it had nothing to do with the country life. It had everything to do with the way I saw the world. Like I was.
You talk about that a little bit.
I graduated at 17. My birthday's in October. I was born in 95. So
Okay.
I graduated at 17, and I don't feel like I was ready for that. Like baseball wise, hell yeah. What the fuck? Like I was hanging with grown men at that point. I didn't really care about that, but like socially and like life, I was not mature at that point. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's also hard to explain to girls that are 19, 20, 18, they second year there or it's their third year in college, and you go show your ID and it's vertical. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got an under 18 ID and it looks crazy. So it was hard for me because I mean, that's what happened, bro. I swear to God.
Why you shit vertical like that?
Yeah, I swear, bro. This is how that happened, right? So first time I'm out there, softball girls, they were cool. We had suites. So it was 2 rooms and we shared a bathroom. My suite mates were both sophomores.
Okay.
So they were already there at Howard before. So they knew a bunch of girls there, whatever. They would go to their room, chill. And they would sometimes come to our room. So I'm like, oh, whatever. They was like, oh, you should come with us to this bar, 18 and over bar, after practice. So I'm like, I can't. I rolled my ankle today. Right? Second time, oh, nah, I caught a ground ball with my finger. Third time, nah, I got hit in the elbow. The fourth time, the softball team pulled up to the practice. So I couldn't even lie. Yeah. She watched the whole practice. This girl, she watched the whole thing. And she's like, yo, like, you look pretty good out there as a third. So she comes into the room. She's like, all right. She locked both doors. She's like, I'm not leaving until you tell me why you don't want to come out with us. So I'm like, all right. Show her my ID. She's like, oh my God, you're 17, this, that. So just being around, and it's not like I haven't been around older people. It's just, in that type of setting, I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that. And then that next year when I was 18, turning 19, my sophomore year, I was a lot more mature. So just like little things, like I had this thing where like I couldn't go to sleep. Like I will go to sleep.
Insomnia? Like insomnia?
Nah, like I was scared to go to sleep.
Really?
Yeah, like that's why I had this tattoo. So like you see Dreamcatchers, they have lines.
Okay,
right? So
yeah.
I was going to a point in my life where like I could not go to sleep. So to me, there was like no dreams to catch per se.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Holy
So now that, you know, it being 12 years later, I think the reason why I couldn't go to sleep is because I knew I wasn't working hard, but I couldn't explain why I didn't have a desire to work hard. So now I'm up battling that shit all night. I got 6 a.m. practices and it's 4:30 and I'm like, I can't even pull nothing because they just gonna come to my dorm and knock on my door. Like, what am I gonna say? I'm sick.
Yeah.
How many times you gonna pull that off? So I didn't like, and it's not that I like lost love for the game. It was just I felt lost. Like I felt like everything that I had built up to that point was for like, oh, this is gonna play great in college. And then the first day of ground balls, I'm getting reprimanded every single ground ball I take. So you guys, we all grew up in the same era. So like catching ground balls where you was doing, you know, the stuff with your glove and deflection. I kind of got that from Stefan. So he was training with his uncle, Stefan Alamais. Shout out Stefan. He's training with his uncle in pro swing.
Okay.
He was the first person I ever seen do that. So I was like, what the fuck is that? Like by the time you heard the pat of the glove, the ball's already coming out of his hand. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how you did that? So I would watch that over and over. I would have conversations with his uncle. And then by the time I learned that my sophomore year, by the time I get to my freshman year of college, like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't stop. Yeah. So like, I couldn't stop doing it. So it would be like a ground ball going over here, hands are this far apart, boom. Throw it. Yeah. Come over here, hands are this far apart, boom. So at one time he had like a soft line drive. I went like this, moved my hand and went like this, and I caught it. That was it right there.
Yeah.
That was it. When I did that,
you can't bring that New York into the country.
No,
you can't have that here, son.
When I did that, bro, my son grabbed his buckle. He said, hold on. He said, we will send you right back to New York. So in my head, I'm like, damn, like, how do I go about showing that I have this athletic ability, but not in a flashy way. And I started catching ground balls normal and stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't a good fit from the beginning. I don't think that I took enough time to actually think about that decision. I didn't think, again, now that I'm guiding kids now and I got kids from different backgrounds asking me to come up with like a college summary, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I got a kid on my team, he's black, right? One black kid that we have on our team. And he's like, oh, I want to go to such and such college. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let me see. Oh, such and such university. All right, cool. Black ratio in such and such university. And it's like, it's 3.9. You're not going there, buddy.
Yeah.
You're not going there.
Being
There's
real.
12 black kids on campus, and 5 of them stay on campus. So I just think like I was one of 2 kids from New York. I was one of 5 kids from the East Coast. I was the only Puerto Rican on campus.
Yeah.
And I had never been in such a different type of environment.
That
and
culture shock.
It shell-shocked the shit out of me, bro.
Culture shock.
It shell-shocked the shit out of me. Like, I got to a point where, like, I was, like, smoking cigars, like, Black and Miles, trying to, like, get rid of the stress. And, like, and it was a really stressful time, bro. To be honest, it was a really stressful time. Because in my opinion, I went over there thinking it would be one way.
And it was completely, it sounds like it was
opposite.
360.
That was a completely opposite time.
So how'd you get yourself, how did you get yourself out of that, if at all?
I would not recommend this, but I took the worst route you could possibly take. So it wasn't, after that practice, it wasn't that bad because I ended up playing and then I misunderstood what a self-paced math class was.
Okay.
I didn't understand that there was due dates and I had to do it before the due dates. So I ended up becoming academically ineligible. So during that time, I had a bunch of people come up to me from the team like, yo, you got to get back. You got to get back.
Yeah.
The shortstop's making errors, this, that, the third. So I came back and he would not play me.
And this is your sophomore year?
No, it was my freshman year.
Oh, okay.
Like I was academically ineligible for like the first half of the semester.
Okay.
And now, mind you, like we in Texas, bro. Like we playing Odessa, Midland, like
Yeah.
you got Temple coming, UT, Texas Tech,
A&M.
Every major college in Texas, every major college in SEC is coming in that state. So I'm hoping to get in. Now in JUCO, I don't know how y'all did it in the fall, but in JUCO's down south, they playing like 21 inning games.
21
Yeah,
innings?
so it's
we didn't do that in Monroe.
Let's say, like,
Monroe.
let's say you're the coach, right? I'm the coach. Hey, what's up, coach? How many guys you on store today? Oh, you got 15 guys throwing today? All right, I got 16, so we'll play 16. It's like that. Like they discussed it before the game. So that particular day was 21 guys.
That's nuts.
So in my head, I'm like, all right, 21 innings. He gotta put me in like the 11th. You got to.
It only makes sense. The numbers work.
I sat all 21 innings.
Nah.
That's when I knew. I said, okay, I have to change something that I'm doing because it can't just be that you don't like me. Because
yeah.
you have one shortstop out there for 21 innings.
He played the whole game? That guy played the whole game?
Nah.
You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Nah.
You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So now, plays the whole game, right?
Yo,
Plays the whole game. 21 innings, plays the whole game, right?
Nah.
So in my head, I said, all right, it's not a thing of talent.
Nope.
Because I'm showing in practice every day that it's not a thing of talent. Like, I'm getting in trouble because I'm making certain plays happen and you think it's not me.
Yeah.
Like we doing infield in and he rolls over one and he's like, oh, leave it. I'm going after that shit. I catch it, throw it home like this. Nobody's paying attention. Hits the catch in the chest. Everybody, coach is like, where the hell that ball came from? I'm jogging back to short. And he goes, Eli, you threw that ball? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, why'd you throw that ball when nobody was looking? I said, I made the play. He said, you didn't make the play. I said, okay. Practice is over. I see kids talking to him like, yo, he made the play. So he comes up to me, he's like, yo, how you made that play? I was like, well, I kind of saw in your swing that you was like, you kind of jammed yourself and rolled over. So like, I just kind of anticipated that. So he was like, oh shit, like, you know, I would love to see you make those plays. This, that. So in my head, I'm like, all right, I just sat down for 21 innings. You think I could play 5? You think I could play 5?
Give me something.
It just never worked out. So I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? If I'm not going to play here, I'm going somewhere. So I started hitting up schools illegally. And the coach found out and he gave me my release form. And I ended up going to Cisco.
Which is in Texas.
Yeah, which is in East Texas. So Howard is in West Texas.
Okay.
2 different worlds. When I tell you 2 different worlds, I'm talking like West Texas is almost like cowboy hats, boots, spurs on the boots.
Mm-hmm.
And East Texas, they gonna have the cowboy hat, but they gonna have running shoes on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different vibe.
That's
It's a
crazy.
different vibe. It's a different vibe. So I went to Cisco, and I went from the number 1 junior college in the country to a JUCO that didn't even make the playoffs. So when I get there, they had a kid transferring from New Mexico College, the 4-year.
Mm-hmm.
They had a kid, sophomore from Orlando, and their starting shortstop tore his ACL.
Okay.
And then the other second baseman was like 5'3" on some Altuve shit. So in my head, I'm like, all right, he's easy work. That's done. Then the New Mexico kid, I'm like, all right, he's all right. But I'm like, truly, there's only 3 people fighting for this 2 position. It's me, the New Mexico kid, and Orlando, because there's no way they're gonna put this kid with a knee brace on to play short, right? He was the starting shortstop, bro. He was the starting shortstop. So this is when I realized, I said, okay,
That's the politics of
it has to be that, because this is when I knew it was that. So in those schools in Texas, they make the red shirts like the day before the season starts. I don't know how they did it in Monroe, but like, let's say like first game is March 2nd. They're gonna have a practice on March 1st. At the end of that practice, there's a list of guys that they call in that are like fringe guys that are like, all right, you're gonna red shirt. You may get like 30 at bats. So do you want a red shirt? Like, it was like that. So he calls me in, and he leaves his office open. Everybody's in the club. There's like 7 of us. And everybody's just looking around. 5 minutes go by. He opens his door. He's like, yo, anybody could come in at any time. So I'm like, I'm scared for him.
Yeah.
So I go in, and again, I just had a knack for like feeling the vibe, bro. I went in there. I didn't even sit down. I put my hands behind the chair, told her, I said, I'm gonna just let you know right now, if you want me to rest, I'm going back to New York. And then pulled the chair out and then sat down.
Gangster.
And he was like, what you mean? I'm like, I'm just letting you know. If you want me to rest shirt, no problem. I'll take it. I accept it.
But I'm out of here.
But I'm out of here. I'm going back to New York. Because apparently me and Texas, we just don't get along. I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides.
Nobody jacking
I'm
you.
at the top. I'm at the bottom. Yeah, I can't find a space nowhere. So all right, cool. So I'm out.
Right.
I'm leaving. So he's like, and then this is when I knew the politics were into play, because I'm asking him, maybe I just didn't understand the culture. Maybe now as a coach, maybe I understand a little bit more. But like, I'm asking him, why do you want me to redshirt? And he's just like, yeah, so if you get 50 at bats, you lose the year. And he's explaining to me what a redshirt means. And I'm stopping him. I'm like, no. Like, I know what it means.
But why do you want me
Why
to
do you want
redshirt?
me to redshirt? Just explain to me. Like, I even stay here if you can explain it to me. He's just like, oh, no, well, a redshirt benefits you. I was like, all right. I let him finish. Shook his hand. I was like, thank you. Walked out. I started to get my affairs in order, and then I left.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate, bro, that like a lot of college coaches or like situations like that just completely like deflate somebody.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so unfortunate.
And again, I'm over here thinking it's me the whole time, right? So now I'm doing the scoreboard. I'm like, yeah, if you want me to come to the game, they also pay me for work study. So I'm like, all right, if you pay me to work at the game, I'm not going to be in the dugout in the beginning of the season. It's cold as hell. I'm being in a booth. I'm being petty as hell. Like, sort of like a diving play a little bit, hits off his glove, error. He got to the spot late and it went through his legs, error. Like, oh, you dove, but it hit off your glove, but you didn't really, that was like a Wade Boggs type of falling dive, error. Like,
everybody getting it.
Yo, so it got to the point where the coach was like, yo, you can't do the scoreboard no more. Because the shortstop made 4 errors in one game. Because it was like, the first error right through the legs. Second error he made, it was like he was going to his left. He put his hand out and it went under. Error. Error. Now, if I'm playing, you better put that shit as a hit.
You're right.
But error, right? So we had 2 games. I come down. The same Texas Tech coach that was at Howard watching me practice and play there, he comes to Cisco now. He does a double take. He's like, what you doing here? I'm like, he goes, oh, I didn't work out at Howard? I'm like, honestly, nah, I just don't think it was a good fit. He goes, wait, are you redshirting? Like, are you hurt? I'm like, nah. He goes, so why you not playing? I said, looked at him, I was like, and he looked at me, he was like, oh, I said, yeah. Now, knowing what I know now, I probably should have parlayed that to go into Tech.
Yeah,
because
low-key,
Mahomes
low-key.
was already there. That baseball team wasn't that good at the time,
Yeah.
but again, just not having my head on.
Right.
I didn't have my head on right, bro.
Now, what did that transition out of Howard look like, and then what did you go through, and then how did you end up where you're like what you're doing today?
Facts.
You know, like, and why I really want to ask you that is because with all the nonsense that you went through, the fact that you still stood in and around the game and you didn't have that sour taste in your mouth, it says a lot.
But
So I just want to know how
I did,
you
though.
got there.
I did have that sour taste. Like I had it for a long time. So like my second year, which was 15. Yeah, because I graduated
13.
My first year of college was the year of 2013-14, that season. And then my second year of college is 14-15. So I go to CSI, D3 in New York, CUNY ball, violate.
College Staten Island?
Yeah, I went to CSI.
Oh shit, okay.
Violated them. Before the guy that left and went to UConn, I had the BB court record for home runs there, which was 5.
That's fine.
So it may not sound crazy,
Nah,
but
but
you played in this era too. Like, bro, we played with Diamond Pros. Those balls were dead. Those balls were shit, bro. And I
had
tried
no
to explain it to these kids. I'm like, yo, like,
they don't understand.
if I was playing with the balls that y'all had now, I would have probably had like
What do
8
you
or
now,
9.
8-10-10s they still use? 8-10-10?
No, I'm talking about in college.
What?
The balls, bro, during our time, that 2 to 3 year window, our first 2 to 3 years, the bats were good, but
balls were dead.
the balls were dead because when they first came out with BB Court, they still had the old balls.
Yeah.
So the old balls mixed with the new BB Court that is new technology they haven't figured out. You got guys hitting 30, 40 home runs that you get them drafted. They hitting 12 home runs in the minors. You're like, yo, where's all that power? And it's like, nah, like they hitting cue balls with titanium bats. You know, like, you get what I'm saying? Like you're hitting a big ass golf ball at this point. So, so to answer your question, the transition, like I did have a bitter taste in my mouth because that year, Stephen ended up getting drafted out of Tulane. Josh Palacios ended up getting drafted out of Auburn.
Yeah, shout out my guy Josh.
The next year, Richie got drafted out of Townsend.
Yeah.
So it was like all the kids that I grew up with and playing around are getting drafted, and I'm like,
And you know you should be there.
and then Pat Mahomes gets drafted, and I'm just like, oh shit, like I need to get my shit together.
Yeah.
So I go to Western Oklahoma. And it
You went to Western too?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
So,
God. You did
I
the
go to Western Oklahoma.
State tour.
Nah,
right.
but that's kind of where it ends though. Like I go to Western Oklahoma, and that was the first time in my life I was the old guy. So like everywhere I went, I was always the young guy on the team. I'm the one playing up. I'm the one that is the youngest on the team. I was the older guy. I'm turning 20 years old. There's 17, 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds turning 17. And I get on the bus and I felt like I was the immigrant. Like, what? And I was like one of 5 people on the team that knew English. So, yeah, in Western, they don't play that.
Yeah,
that's how it be.
I'm there and I just, probably me again, but it wasn't a good fit. That coach, he was just on another level.
Yeah. Russell?
Yeah,
Russell's wild.
His name, but you did. Now that you did.
No, everyone knows. Everyone knows Western.
Some of the stuff that I went through there, it was like insane. Like the first day I could think about it was peanut day at the park. And
is it peanut day?
Peanut day, like actual peanuts. Okay. You got to crack them open, eat the peanuts. And the guys are like over the thing and they're dropping the shells. So in my head, I'm like, I'm not getting on my hands and knees and picking that shit up. So I put the leaf blower on the lowest setting. So I'm like right here, and I realized it's going right through the fence, and everybody on the other side could just pick it up. So I'm like, oh shit, this is working. All right, bro. Doing it. Mind you, I didn't play at all. Was doing it. Kurt Russell goes, Elijah, what the fuck are you doing? You look like a fucking dickhead. Takes the leaf blower, revs it all the way up. Shells go all over the place. I say, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Next day, I wake up. We have practice at 3. 3? No, we have practice at 12.
Okay, PM.
I'm looking at the clock. 11:30 comes. I was like, I could leave now. 11:45. I'm like, pushing it. 11:50 comes. I'm like, if I grab everything quickly, I think I could do it. 12 o'clock comes. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going. Didn't go to practice. Right? First time I ever did that in my life. Like, just did not go to practice.
That
So
is it.
in my head, now this is the older me kicking in. Don't go to practice. Don't get a text, no nothing. So I'm like, wait. I'm not from here. One of the coaches lives in our dorm. I didn't get no contact. You didn't knock on my door. I could be missing right now.
Yeah, and they
I
don't.
could be missing right now. So I said, you know what? Deleted the group chat, kicked myself out of the group chat, and I said, I'm done. I'm done with baseball. I went back. I go back to my dorm. I'm hitting. I go back to my dorm, and I run into assistant coach. He's like, oh, where have you been? We missed you for the last couple of days. I said, where have I been? I said, all right. Then I just broke it down to him. I'm like, listen, like, you're supposed to be our adult supervision. There's no one here over 21. I've been gone for 3 to 4 days. You didn't think to knock on
You
my
didn't show
door?
up to practice for 4 days?
No, mind you, I'm going to class. I'm still eating breakfast and lunch. So I'm still seeing the guys. Nothing.
That's
Then that's when I
wild.
realized, I said, you know what? I think I'm done with this. I think I'm done with this. Because there was a speech that the Russell said. That was one thing, like, crazy guy. Like, I'm talking like...
Yeah, I've heard.
I had a lot of friends who went there.
I tried to stay away from this topic, but out of his mind, right? So he was a very intense guy. But the one thing I will give him is that his speeches, you talk about running through a wall. That wall, that his speeches had you ready to rip the wall out from the ground. Like it was like that. And one of his speeches, he said, he goes, if you are not crazy about this game, then you should just quit. And I'm listening to him talking. I'm like, I'm just not crazy about this anymore. Like, everything I've been through is like, I haven't even had a chance. Even when I go to CSI, right? Love Coach Moore to death. Love him to death, right? I get there, and I'm not going to say the player's name, but I outplayed. He was a sophomore at that point. That year was his junior year.
Okay.
So he already played 2 years. I'm coming in, I haven't played an inning of college baseball yet. He had no home runs in 2 years and like 10 stolen bases in 2 years. I outdid his entire career in the fall. So I hit a home run in the fall, had like 15 stolen bases, and violating on defense. Like I'm talking like making crazy ass plays. And off season comes, I'm working, season's about to come, the team's gonna meet up. And when me and my dad met with the coach was like, okay, what position does he play? And my dad tells him anything but third. Like you can put him at first base, but don't put him at third.
Yeah.
And team training comes around. What does he do? Eli go to third. So I'm like,
That's disrespectful.
I'm like, nah, he's not gonna do this. There's
That is
no
so
way.
disrespectful.
There's no way you just saw what I just did and you thinking put me at third. Now, what got me excited was the last game was that he put their shortstop at third and put me at short. So I'm like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? I even made a crazy play that, like, if the third baseman had more range, he should have actually made the play. I ended up making the play. And he just puts me at third. And then after the practice is over, I go up to him. I'm like, hey, look, I'd rather play the bench than be at third base. Like, straight up. Because I know the value I'm going to bring at third, and I'm going to single-handedly lose those games at third.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, just give it a chance, this, that. I'm like, look, either put me on the bench or put me in another position. So he goes, are you giving me an ultimatum? And for some reason, I don't know what that word did to me. I just started crying like a baby.
Really?
Yeah, I started crying like a baby because, bro, like, my third situation is not working out again. I'm like, bro, like...
That's like the straw that broke the camel's back,
Like,
basically.
bro, like, I'm throwing 92 across the diamond. Exit velocity wasn't a thing. But, bro, like, I'm hitting the ball hard as hell.
Yeah.
60 time, I'm running like a 6'5". Like, what do you, like... Get him out the
Like, what else can I- yeah, what more do you want?
do you
Yeah, it's a
need?
fact, bro.
I'm like, Tyrese, like, what more do you want from me?
Just crying.
Yo,
Just,
bro, I swear, bro.
that's
so,
all that pent up
yeah,
pain.
so it was just pain built up, and he's like, "Listen, we're gonna teach you how to play third." Never taught me how to play third, and
And this was before Western, right?
this was before Western, and it didn't work out. Now don't get me wrong, I led my team in 7 offensive categories. But
Just 7.
there's only 10.
And I still wasn't playing, but
Yeah,
hey,
but
you know.
I like even then, like, should have won CUNY Player of the Year. They gave it to a senior. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it was just
Yeah.
it was just so many things stacked on top of each other that I got to a point where once I left Western, I was gonna go back to CSI.
Oh, really?
I told the coach,
Like to play?
yeah.
Okay.
I told the coach, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna come back. I've been working harder than I've ever done. I have my body right. And I told him, I'm like, listen, I would never talk to you like this because I have respect for you. But I'm telling you this right now. If you don't put me at short, I'm transferring to Baruch. Now, Baruch was like their rival. We had just beat them in the CUNY chip like 2 years before. So I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, like, I will transfer there because we both know who should have been that short. Come to find out, the year that I left, the shortstop did even worse. So I'm like,
Yeah.
come on.
Even more
So
reason.
he's like, no, I got you. We got a Rawlings deal, this, that, the third. So I'm like, all right, bet, let's get it.
Yeah.
Now, school in New York is similar. Their school schedule is similar to like a high school schedule.
Yeah, it
So
starts
starting in like September.
Yep.
I want to say like maybe like 2 weeks before school started, my mom comes up to me and she's like, hey, because my mother worked for a private ear, nose, and throat doctor.
Okay.
And she goes, hey, my doctor's going to retire and I have to take a pay cut. Now, at that time, it was already a lot of me to ask for my mother for $135 a month for that Metro card.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, like, you about to take a pay cut? Like, who the fuck is about to buy this Metro card?
Mm-hmm.
So I lay down in my room for a little bit and I'm like, that's the song. It's over. That's it. It's over. And then everything hit. Because that's when Richie was doing his thing in the minors. That's when everybody that I got drafted was doing their thing. And then it just hit like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, shit. I'm back in the hood. I have no way to get us out. No way.
Yeah. And like your
Short of me selling
identity.
drugs, there was nothing I could do. to get
And that's
out.
so crazy as a baseball player because like we always talk about your identity is so ingrained in the game that when you're not playing it anymore, it's like, yo, who am I now? And I don't want people to hear this as like you're envious of Richie and them and them getting drafted. It's just like when you're in a group of people that you all work hard together and everybody's like at that same talent level, you know at some point you're gonna get drafted. So when you see all these people kind of get drafted and things like that, it just kind of puts like your life into perspective.
Right.
Oh, no, let me stop you right there. I definitely was envious.
Oh, okay.
But again, that was part of the problem.
Got you.
Because I was good friends with Richie. I was good friends with Josh. And
Appreciate you clarifying
when I
that too.
seen them get drafted, I'm just like,
I should be there.
the fuck?
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't even give me a look? What do you mean you're not even like inviting me to free agent workouts and this, that, the third? So yes, throughout that bitter time, there was a sense of entitlement. There was a sense of like, who are these guys? Not those particular group of guys, but there was another group of guys that were getting drafted that I'm like, him?
Yeah.
Like, are you him? Like, that's the guy you're going with. You want to look at the numbers? Like, come on, bro. Like, let's not do this. So I had to deal with that for a long time. And then again, I keep bringing up Pat Mahomes, but because we have baby pictures together, our fathers are still like this. My father FaceTimed him the other day while I was in the car. So he starts having success. He wins a Super Bowl ring. And I'm like, come on, nigga. It's coming from every angle. It's coming from every angle. And then Josh gets called up to the bigs. Then Richie gets called up. And then a few other guys that I play with get called up. And I'm in the hood watching them play. And I'm like, nah. And then one day, I'm in my friend's house. And we having a drink or two. And he goes, yo, can I talk to you about something? And I'm like, yeah, mind you, I'm like 2 years removed. I done got fat. There's no chance of me coming back, right? He goes, you know you baited the whole hood, right? So for those that don't know what baited means, that means that
New York
like,
slang.
you kind of like
gassed.
you kind of let people down.
Yeah.
Like you kind of baited the whole hood. Like you were supposed to be the next kid up from Bushwick, and like you messed that up. And to be honest with you, I didn't think of it like that. At that time, I was, woe is me. I was playing the victim. Like, look, this coach is racist, and this guy he's the coach at CSI is telling me I can't put you to play over my guys, and this and that. And then when he said that, I was like, oh shit, this shit is my fault. And then it just hit me even harder, and I was like, oh my God. It got to the point, bro, like on some like I only tell a few people this, like I was on suicide watch for 3 years. What? Hell yeah. Like I was cutting myself. I made attempts on my life because I was getting constant reminders of like me throwing my life away. Because it wasn't an injury. You get what I'm saying? Like, if it's an injury, you get over that.
That's
It's
I hurt my
different. It was
arm, I got a surgery, you had TJ, like, you get over that. Like,
I had labrum,
you get what I'm saying? And then, let's be honest, once you get like a major thing, it's kind of like you're going through the thing, you're going
tough
through
to
PT,
get back.
you're like, all right, this is probably it. Let me start taking up a business major and this and that. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, for me, none of that happened.
Yo, that's crazy.
None of that happened. And I kind of felt like the rug was swiped from under me. But I look back to that conversation and I'm like, I yanked the rug. It wasn't these coaches that yanked the rug. It was me.
Yeah.
I'm the one that kind of swallowed this whole opportunity for me.
Wow, bro, that's deep. First off, I want to say, like, I'm sorry you went through that.
Yeah,
Like,
for
yo,
real,
that
for
is identity crisis to a whole nother level.
Yeah,
like, I thought, everyone's personal story, they think they go through it, but that you putting that into perspective, like, yo, having an injury is one thing, but when you didn't have none of that and you have all the tools and everything, it hits harder. Now, I want to go and just kind of transition. So then, how did you end up coaching Grand Street, and how did that become your saving grace to where it means so much to you? Because I know that Grand Street holds a very near and dear place to your heart. So I want to hear about that.
As far as that, it started actually with my dad. Like, he saw how I was. Like, it got really dark, man. Like, I was getting ready to do some things with my life that I would have definitely regretted.
Right.
I was getting ready to change my life in a certain way that wasn't positive. And my dad was one of my first saviors. He said, listen, just come coach with me. Like, I'll pay you a couple thousand here. So I heard the couple thousand. I'm like, oh, shit. I don't even got a job right now. So I said, all right, cool. I'll take the couple thousand. I started coaching with him. And this is when we started coaching that 10U team. So I started coaching with
What team was that? What team?
It was 33 rods. It was him. He made his own team.
Yeah.
But that
Ooh, I remember
10U
that, yeah.
team was the kids that are graduating this year, and some of them graduated last year.
Okay.
So he makes the team, and I'm kind of taking my anger out on these kids. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of am, because everything I just told you, I didn't want the next kid to go through that. So I kind of grew up a lot faster than I needed to.
Yeah.
So me thinking, oh, the shit I was going through at 10, you going through the same thing. And it's like, hell
Nah,
no.
it's nowhere.
It's not even
It
close.
don't work like
You
that.
get what I'm
It don't
saying?
work like that.
And I kept running into that. Like, I kept running into like trying to make the 10-year-olds run for coming late to practice. Meanwhile, it's like, bro, they're not even getting on the train.
It's not like it's the parents' fault.
Right. So it was a little bit of that, and then like my dad would just teach me the coaching game, because as a player, you know the game.
It's
right?
different when you're in when you have that coach's
Way
lens
different.
on.
Way different. So he's teaching me the coaching game, the rules, when you go to a tournament, ask for the rule book, this, that, pay attention to the time, milk the clock a little bit, this, that. So he just put me onto the game.
Absolutely.
And how that led to Grand Street, obviously me coaching with him, it saved my life, to be honest with you, because
Thank
like I
the
said
Lord,
before,
bro. Thank
before
the
that shit was looking
Lord, bro.
dark.
That shit would have broke my heart.
Yeah, so like 5 years into it, obviously the arguing was persistent. And it kind of got to a point where I told him I can't coach with you anymore, because we keep butting heads over things that we both don't understand. Like, you have a certain level of expertise, I have a certain level of expertise. And if we're supposed to be this good yin and yang together, you putting too much black on my white.
Yeah.
And you're not letting me put no white on your black, like, at all. So we kept butting heads over like strategies and like teaching them the right way to do something. And, oh, this is a cheat code. Like, primary example, love my father. Never been a fast guy. When I met the scout that got him signed, I asked him, I said, why would you sign this guy as a shortstop? He was slow as hell, because my dad got drafted as a shortstop. He looks at me, no hesitation, the scout goes, because when I came to see your father play, for the most part, he was jogging around the bases. I said,
Oh,
Makes sense.
okay, cool.
okay.
So the scout ended up telling me, he hit a lot of home runs, and it was like home run or double.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, okay, that probably means you didn't really focus on running the bases the correct way, right? Making sure that your right foot hits the inside corner, making sure that your head tilts a little bit to the left to help you turn a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Making sure that when you're running, you don't turn out too big. And we got into a huge argument over that. And I'm trying to explain to him, like, look, you hit the inside corner with your right foot because if you hit it with your left foot, it's going to go, your turn is going to be way more out.
Absolutely.
So we got into a huge argument over that in front of the parents. So after that, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm kind of done with this. He drew me back in for another year. And I was coaching this kid named Matthew Stevenson. He just graduated from Malloy last year. And his mom, Karen Stevenson, is the assistant principal at a middle school. She saved my life completely because
Shout out to her.
Right.
if it wasn't for her, in my head, I'm like, damn, I can't even coach either. Because if it's not working out with my father, who am I gonna coach with? Because I'm gonna know more than you as a head coach.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna piss me off that I'm not the head coach.
That's a fact.
So then I'm like, damn, I can't even coach. So I'm like, I was getting ready to turn into a goblin after that. So I'm like, yo, you know what? Whatever. I'm gonna go through this season. It is what it is. And Karen Stevenson pulls me out of the practice at the end of practice, and she's like, "Hey, what do you think about working with kids?" And I'm like, "I don't even like coaching, but it's baseball." You get what I'm saying? So she's like, "Nah, like come shadow and like as a paraprofessional on the last couple of weeks of school, and we'll see if you like it." I ended up loving it because I got there at 8:00. Then I look up, it's 2:15, and everybody's gone. I'm like, "What's next?" And she's like, "Go home." At 2:15. At 2:15.
I heard you.
So we sat there, we spoke about, you know, like the ins and outs of being a para and, you know, how you could level up and this and that. And then my whole life changed. Like for me, I was like, oh, this could be a way for me to use my story to have these kids prevent.
I love that.
You get what I'm
I
trying to say?
love that.
So
Talking about.
like it kind of like changed overnight. Like once I became a para, I became a para in 2023. And like that summer, that was my last summer coaching with my dad. And then like my life kind of took off after that. And then to get back to the Grand Street thing,
I love that.
this is how crazy it works. So that fall, I had a friend hit me up and he was like, yo, I got an organization that's looking for a coach. I'm like, all right, bet. I've been wanting to coach by myself to see if I can really do this. So let's do it. Coaching the team, whatever, 13 team. I'm like, all right, cool. Now I tell Karen, I'm like, listen, I'll coach a middle school baseball team at the middle school. But I have this very weird feeling that Grand Street's gonna call me. I don't know why. She's like, have you spoke to anybody? I'm like, no. I just have a weird feeling, right? That was in 23. That was in October. And like the end of that month by Halloween, I get a call from Kelvin. Now, Kelvin and I have always been close, but after he came home from college, he was trying to figure out his life. So he, not so much was MIA, but he was just busy, bro.
Yeah. Doing his own thing.
But he went back to get his master's, you get what I'm saying? Still looking for jobs and stuff like that. So we hadn't spoke for like 2 years when he came home. I didn't even have his number, to be honest with you. I didn't have it
That's how
saved.
deep it was.
But when he called, I had this feeling that I knew who it was. So I said, hello? And he has a very distinctive voice.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, what up? What you doing? I'm like, nothing. I just finished practice. He goes, are you ready? So I'm like, I know you're not talking about what I think you're talking about. I know you're not talking about what I think you're talking about. So he's like, yo, it's time. So I said, bet, let's do it. I met with him that next weekend. And then I missed the trials because I was doing stuff with my summer team.
Right.
But yeah, I met with Melvin, met with Kelvin. They brought me on board, and then it was like a dream come true because once I figured out like I actually wanted to be a coach, I was like, okay, now how do I get to Grand Street? And there was a specific player, I won't say his name, but there was a specific player that I kept running into in the summer. From 10 to 15, he was single-handedly the reason why he would be, like his team would be mine. I'm talking like, was the first, like at 10 years old, was like the first kid catching the ball with confidence. First kid making diving plays and stuff like that. And he would single-handedly beat my teams. And when he turned 15, that was his sophomore year going into his junior, I said, before this kid graduates, I'm going to coach him. Because his athletic ability is through the roof, this, that, the third. We ended up making it official with Grand Street. That kid was at Grand Street. So I was like, full circle moment. I finally get to coach this kid. So.
And to coach Grand Street.
Exactly.
2 for 1.
So we go through the year. I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a very difficult year because I'm coming into Grand Street with this whole like I'm Mr. Big Bad Wolf himself. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like I got records in the school, I got a ring.
Yeah.
Like my name rings bells in this school.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the teachers and admins still knew me. So it was becoming one of those things where it was like a lot of the kids already knew me. So I get there, we coaching, and it was my first time coaching that age group. And there was a lot of difficult stuff I had to deal with. A lot of difficult like emotions and certain life situations that I'm like, God damn, like you really going through it. How do I save you? Like, and Grand Street just meant so much to me, bro. Like it took me out of a huge hole from when I was a freshman.
Yeah.
My parents went there. 90% of my family went there. My great grandmother is along with her and a group of people. They're solely the reason why Grand Street is on Grand Street in Bushwick right now, because it moved. So Grand Street is Eastern District. That was like the first name of Grand Street, and it went from Marcy to Union Avenue. And when they were getting ready to build the one that it is now, in like 78, 79, the Board of Ed was like, yo, like, why are we going to build this school? The graduation rate is like 40%. Y'all be killing each other in the school. Like, what's the point? So during that time in the late 70s, there was no like Bloods and Crips and Kings and stuff like that. It was neighborhoods. So it was like Marcy versus Tompkins versus Sumner versus the South Side. Like, that's how it was. Your gang was your neighborhood.
Right.
So my great grandmother, along with a group of people, was telling the Board of Ed, like, yo, like, if you guys don't build this school, these kids are gonna have to go to other neighborhoods and they may not come back home.
Right.
So the Board of Ed reasoned with her and it was like, oh shit, you're right. So in 1980, they built the school, and my parents met in 1990.
That's crazy. Eli, your story is wild, bro. But real quick, before we wrap everything up, because this was a roller
we gonna have to
coaster.
spin and do
We're
it.
gonna have to
Part
spin.
two.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
we 100%
They may have to do like
part two.
like a little vlog at Grand, come,
we're gonna
show love to the team,
and
watch them
everything
play.
like that. But
that'll be dope.
before we leave, I want to just ask you, for the next generation, these kids that you now work with, that you're trying to save, and these next kids that you're gonna end up saving in the future, what advice could you give them when they're finding their life after baseball?
Honestly, you got to go with the flow of things. I feel like a large part of the reason why I was going through the darkness period that I went through is because I kept fighting it. Like, I kept fighting the adjustments. Like, I didn't want to be a regular person. Like, as crazy as that sounds,
That's that baseball in us.
I wanted to play baseball, bro. Like,
fact.
I
Paid to
grew up
live.
in the clubhouse. I love the smell of the clubhouse and fresh cut grass, like, and the dirt. I used to come home, my jersey used to be filthy. Hop in the shower, the water hits your leg, the water's brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, I miss that. So what I would say is this. Number one, cherish the moments before your college career is over.
For sure.
Because
for sure.
You got the 12 years of high school, then you got the 4 years of your college career. Obviously, masters and stuff like that, but we're talking about playing wise. So you only got 16 years to do this. So my biggest regret is I didn't utilize those 16 years to the best of my ability. So to avoid the darkness, to avoid some of the depression, you got to keep yourself active. Stay in the gym, stay with some friends, engage in positive stuff.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from smoking and drinking.